ーがお留守なのだわ。潮風が頬を撫でる。ボディがお留守なのだわ。完璧なシンメトリー。はっへえやっはっはっいって。砂浜に思いを刻んで連続作戦なのだわ。家庭教師を待たせることになりそう。やっへえやっさやっやっほっえい。
Oh, that's interesting. So, the stuff I've been finding all around, that's actually really nice because it encourages you to go and explore and find various things. I think that's a cool way of doing it.
Soto も静かになったな。リン。いや。そうか。
Okay, so his room must be the one adjoining ours then.
その後はちゃんと寝れたかな。みんなはもう起き
So
て
I
る
guess
か
it's
な。
supposed to be his room?
下に行ってみよう。
Yeah, I don't know, is that his signature? Oh, okay, well, yeah, they literally say it's his room. Oh, maybe that's not a signature of the name, it just is, it's how you say occupied in their, which I don't know. Or maybe it's how you say occupied in Bangbu.
よ、おはよう店長。
りんちゃん、おそよ転校生。ちんた。ノルムってば、昨日何時にノルムが算数局まで連れてってやるから、とっとと準備するの。
よっしゃ
昨日から気になっていたのだけれど。
それは説明が算数局には最先端のホローエーテル探査設備が揃って、もちろん例の合金も不可欠なのだ。それに
フリンツ工房。
もう察しがいいのだ。なんといってもフリンツ合金。
へえ、なんだかすごそうだぜ。
Oh yeah, yeah. The stuff in Wi-Fi was not Porcelalumo. It was Porceluminex or something like that, which might be based on the same principles, but I think it uses a different. I don't know actually. It's like there's the Luminex or the Lumite ore that's found in the Whitefay Peninsula Hollow. So maybe it's using the Porcelumo process on that ore, which might be easier to apply. Whereas like Porcelumo itself is like maybe it's performed like on pure ether crystals or something like that, which makes it insanely hard to manage.
伝説と歌われる移ろがる銃具からノルムーたちの足元で島を
Oh,
支えてる
interesting.
コアフレームまで、
So all the
全ての手が手から作られたものなのだ。
Void Hunter weapons use it, so I'm curious. So like obviously Miyabi, so we have Yishuan, Miyabi, and Xiaoguang are all called Void Hunters, but I'm curious if their weapons are also made with the stuff, or like because they said legendary Void Hunter weapons, which is different than current Void Hunter weapons, right? So like now maybe Xiaoguang's sword is that Porcelumoy ally. Yeah, so presumably the fact that they distinguish between the legendary Void Hunter weapons and normal ones makes me think that that only legendary ones have it. Although my thought is that the sword that Xiaoguang has is super old, and Miyabi's sword should be pretty old too. Like Miyabi inherited from her mother. Or I think she got it from her mother. And then Xiaoguang, we know that sword has been passed down for a long period of time. So they are old enough where they could be considered legendary Void Hunter weapons. It's hard to say, or they could just be naturally, they could just be weapons that existed even before that, and the current legendary Void Hunter weapons are based off of that. But that's why they're maybe better, is because we've made improvements to them. But hard to say though, because we know, when they're talking about the legendary Void Hunters, they're talking about the ones from Eridu, right? Actually, wait a minute, no. Ramiel's gone for a long time. I was thinking 11 years ago, right? I was thinking, oh well, the fall of Eridu, because of the catastrophe 11 years ago. But yeah, I think when Ramiel came up, when Ramiel was bouncing around, I think what we could gather is that she had actually been asleep for 100 years or something like that. So she was there at the founding of Eridu. Or is it founding of New Eridu? Maybe it's the founding of New Eridu. Maybe old Eridu had fallen long before, and this was always New Eridu. I always thought the catastrophe was the falling of old Eridu, and new Eridu sprung up afterwards. But either way, I think she was there for the founding of the city, like 100 years ago. And that's, I think, and then she was considered a legendary Void Hunter, and we saw how powerful her weapon was, because that's the weapon we accidentally got a hold of that turned us into a monster, because we got overloaded with ether. So it's like obviously a very powerful weapon. So yeah, if these legendary weapons are from 100 years ago, it still could include Miyabi's sword and Zhao Guang's sword. It's hard to tell for Yishuan because we don't ever like see her use an actual weapon. All she uses is like her ink blots, which is like pretty amorphous. But then again, from what we saw of Remiel, is that when she was taking, like, it seemed like her weapon was like just pure energy. Like it came out of the crypt, and it just was like an energy blob. And then she extracted an energy blob from us, and then she was able to manifest it in physical form. So it could be that Yishuan's weapon is that ink, you know? Or maybe it's something that can produce that ink, right? Maybe it's a physical object that is like an ink stone or something like that. And from that, she's able to produce the ink that she uses for her abilities. It's kind of hard to tell, obviously, because they haven't really gone too much into it. And it's not like this is a passed-on thing as well. It could be that she's just a Void Hunter because she's that strong, and it's not that she even has a Void Hunter weapon, but she is just so insanely strong, they're like, fuck it. You're a Void Hunter too because of how strong you are. Because like it's not an inherited thing, because her sister had Zhao Guang's sword. So if her sister was a Void Hunter by merit of the sword, then Yishuan shouldn't be a Void Hunter because she doesn't have the sword. So either she has another Void Hunter weapon, or Void Hunter is just a title used to define people of certain levels of strength. And because she has that level of strength, she's considered a Void Hunter. And I mean, that could be what it always was, but the idea could just be that because the weapons were so powerful, that anyone who had them would have the power of a Void Hunter, right? A power level equal to the task of Void Hunting. So whether you got to that level of power by yourself or with a weapon, you know, or with a Void Hunter weapon, you'd be still considered a Void Hunter. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about this. Obviously, we're gonna talk to Lady Sunbringer. Remiel is gonna come out a little bit more too, so we might learn a little bit what Void Hunters were back in the day, and kind of how they get classified and stuff, and maybe a little bit more about their weapons as well. Yeah, that's the crazy thing too, is that I saw there was like a little bit of controversy about Lady Sunbringer's design. Well, obviously there seems to be 3 forms for Lady Sunbringer, but the more adult one that pops out, people were bitching and moaning about that. They're like, oh, I guess we'd like seen splash art of her, or not really splash art, but like a background art image of her, so we kind of already knew that a character like this existed. But they were like complaining that her new current outfit wasn't as good as her old outfit. And it's like, dude, people are so fucking weird. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like first of all, I don't know when the old art, like, I never even seen the old art too, so like, I don't know if this is something from like ages ago. Like, it could have been like a very rudimentary old design from like a year ago, right? And they decide to improve upon it when creating the in-game model, you know? And it's like, it's still, I mean, it's very hot. Like, it's still hot. Like, it's super hot. You know? She looks very attractive. So I'm not really sure. Because, like, the image that people were using to compare with, where it was like her lower body was hidden behind a railing. So basically, like, she was standing up on a parapet, like, talking to people down below. And in front of her was just a stone railing, so you couldn't actually see through it. So it was like solid stone. So like you couldn't see her lower body at all. You could only see her upper body. And it was like, okay, I don't know, maybe she looked more regal or majestic or something. But was like more covered up or something. I don't know. It was like she was also pretty small Like, I don't know if this is the image that people are referencing. I just saw this specific image, so I don't know if that's the real one that people are comparing with. But it's also like, okay, so you saw half her body in this really tiny form, because she's like, you know, high above everyone. So it's like, it's not even like oh, here's an image and we caught it up close. It's like, no, it's like it was almost like a camera angle taken from down below, looking up at her, speaking in the tall building. So it's like, so yeah, to make any sort of assumptions, like, oh, well, I think her outfit's going to look like that. Now, maybe there was also like one of those like T-pose character sheets where it was like, yeah, here's her initial storyboard design, which is now different. And I don't know, like, I always thought it was kind of stupid to complain about shit like that. Like, obviously, if you like the other one, that's fine, right? Like, I'm not saying you're dumb for liking the other one more than the current one, but I think it's dumb to bitch and moan about the current one, right? Like, it's one thing, like, I get, and I mean, it happens like all the time too these days, when people decry censorship and shit, where it's like, oh, but she was so much more revealing before, and now when she's officially released, look at how they censored her. And it's like, yeah, I get that. That sucks, right? It sucks when you feel that the developer's creative expression is being stifled by censorship, right? Because censorship is usually not something that developers themselves are implementing of their own will, right? It's something that's pushed upon them that they comply to because of governments, right? They're like they're either forced to, if it's a very stringent government like China, or they choose to for a stringent government like Japan, because they know that if they don't do it, like China will just flat out like shut you down, because that's how their control is. Japan won't like necessarily shut you down, but it will make it very hard to sell there, right? So some people will be like, well, fuck. To cater to Japanese sensibilities, we'll censor it so we can sell there without issue, right? So they're choosing to do that to open up the market. Whereas, like, I think in China, if you try to push something past them, if their government says, no, you have to censor this, and you try to, like, ignore it and be like, fine, we just won't sell in China, especially if you're a Chinese company, like, obviously, if you're a non-Chinese company, it's the same as Japan, right? Where it's just like, oh, you try to, as a non-Chinese company trying to sell a product in China, if they request some level of censorship and you choose not to, you just don't sell it in China, right? But I think as a Chinese company, you'd probably be shut down. Or some other. So the level of control of their own companies are insanely high. I don't think in Japan they would have that level of strictness where they would actually shut you down. Like if you were a Japanese company who were like, oh, well, I don't want to censor it, so I'm just not going to sell in Japan. As a Japanese company, I think you could still do that. I don't think their government is that overreaching where it would actually shut their company down. They would just sell only in the West or in other locations. You know, the West and other parts of the East. And they just couldn't sell in Japan unless they did this. Now, obviously, if you're trying to make a lot of money, you're going to just say, fuck it. I'm going to make a product that can be sold as many places as possible. Which does kind of suck, because obviously the countries that have the stricter censorship laws are basically the ones that dictate the censorship for the entire world, right? Because these companies aren't going to be like, okay, well, we're going to have our Gunnar version for the West, and we're going to have our censored version for the East, right? Like, no. They'll just be like, here's the censored version that goes out to the world, you know? So that's the unfortunate thing. And so I do understand where it's like, yeah, sure, like this might have been the storyboarded design back then, and now you get a current one where it's more censored. Yeah, I get that sucks, but like, you know, conceptually. But like, it's not like they ever present a design that is just terrible, right? It's like something like, oh, okay, well, this had a very revealing top, you know, or this had like very, very much showed her cleavage, and now it's a little more restrictive, where it's like the dress covers more more of her top, so less cleavage is exposed, right? It's just like, yeah, does that suck? Sure, right? Like, it would be better before, but it's not like they ever present us something bad. It's not like, oh, well, we had to censor it, so here's something that's just shit. Like, it's just terrible. Like, no, it's never that. So, I do think people are oversensitive to such things. I understand why, while overall it's not good, and I don't like it. But, I mean, they are cute. The cat is cuter than the customers at the shop. So yeah, I mean, it does suck. But I do think people are... I do think people are a little oversensitive to this stuff. It's fine to rail against it. That's actually... Yeah, whenever Tin Master is at the counter, there's a cat lying there instead. The cat that lives behind the dumpsters can go up on the counter when... Anyway. But that is kind of cool. I do like these little like moments that they're putting in. Did I already get this, or is this the check-in thing that I should do here now instead? Oh, okay, yeah. So it's basically, I can't accept the Wi-Fi Peninsula dog thing. I gotta come here instead to accept it, to get my daily rewards. But yeah, I do like these little moments where it's like, here's a little bit of a cutscene. Oh wait, what? Looking for an outfit. What? Oh, I see. I had to hold circle for that. I was trying to press X to do it. You gonna pop out like that? Oh, there we go. Okay. You do the chest. Nice. Yeah, like there's the chest and stuff to unlock stuff, but there's also the fact that like there's all these little just random events, which I do enjoy. It makes the world. Yeah, I guess like there was like up there at that railing there. If anyone stands there, you can't see their lower body. But basically, like that was the whole thing. Is that she was speaking from there, and I guess her outfit looks slightly different. And I think her current outfit looks pretty hot, but. Oh, this is that statue. Okay. This is where that statue was. Yeah, because I had gotten to the menu that the statue provided through other means, so I was like, I had no clue what it was. I thought it was just something you get from the menu. I didn't realize it was the actual physical object in the world that you could also interact with to bring up the menu. Yeah, like that's super hot. Yeah, I mean, it looks super hot to me, you know. A nice, a nice visible leg, open chest, you know. What's not to like about that, right? So I'm not sure what the previous design was. I don't know. Like, it's just one of these things where I really dislike how people like try to push their who try to just say, oh, something is or isn't bad based on purely their opinion. Like, I see that a lot in like Final Fantasy with the glamours for stuff, where it's like, you know, a new weapon glamour comes out, a new, like, obviously the new Ultimate came out with Kefka, and so now there's the Kefka brand weapons, and there's, you know, people shitting on them saying, oh, they don't like them, they don't like the appearance, and it's like, yeah, personally for me, I don't particularly care for the appearance for a lot of them as well. I think the base weapon design for some of them is pretty cool. I do like the base weapon design because it's basically the it's basically the Savage tier. Well, not really. It's the Savage tier weapons, right? So the weapons you would get for fighting Omega 12. You know, these are the weapons you would get. And now finally they have a glow because you're doing Savage Kefka. Or Ultimate Kefka, right? So, sure, right? Like, I think the base design for a lot of them were really solid. But, like, the glow is not my favorite. I think for some of them it's fine, but, like, not my... But, like, people see that and they're like, oh my god, they're shit, right? And it's like, dude... And then, like, saying they're just absolutely terrible. Like, I've seen so many people like that who just, like, see stuff like that or see a new design. Like, whenever they're coming out with, like, when the Alliance raid comes out, people are looking at the design like, oh, these designs are terrible, I don't like them, they are bad, Square Enix is messing up. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, this is glamour. Like, these are just outfits and weapons and stuff. Like, for every person that says, yeah, they're shit, there's other people who say they're great, right? Like, there are a lot of weapons I don't like, right? Like, well, I don't like the end version of the Eureka weapons. I think they look like shit. I don't like the base design. And the glow doesn't make up for it enough. Like, the base design of the Eureka for the final Eureka weapons were terrible, in my opinion. But, like, there are people who like them. I see people wearing them. So it's not like, you know, no matter how bad you might think it looks, there are people who like it. So I think it is a little dumb to try to insult the company or to insult the design when it's just like, dude, just because it's not your cup of tea doesn't make it bad, right? Just because you don't particularly like it doesn't actually make it a bad design. It just makes it a design you don't particularly like, right? Which is fine, right? Like, okay, you don't like the design, then don't pull for it.
諸君の尽力しかし尋常ならざる活性を持つフォロー彼らがいる我らは長きにわたり世界から隠れてきた諸君
Oh, interesting. So he's mentioning the creator.
もはやだからこそロスカリタ戦で迫る戦闘記念日ほどなく地上から
それってつまり
まあ僕たちの上陸が
全ての部門が同じ展望と意思を共有一丸となって協力に臨めるべき
So obviously there's Verlina right there. There's Sigrid. I'm kind of curious, are those... I do know that there's 3 forms of Lady Sunrunner, and this is just one of the ones. Now, I would assume that the middle girl and the rightmost girl are not Lady Sunrunner. I would assume they wouldn't include the other versions of Lady Sunrunner. I think these are the heads of each department, right? All departments meet in collaboration. Obviously, the assumption is that these are the 5 heads of the departments. Although it's kind of weird, because Sigrid does seem like the order of like a knights, like the order of the knights or something akin to their military force. So I wouldn't really say it's a department, I guess. Like I guess the Department of Defense, perhaps. Okay, but that is interesting, though. Because this is the first time they've really mentioned the creator since
やっぱ
Sarah, I think.
ミス・サンドリンが下がって
Actually, no, they might have mentioned it. But basically, like, since fighting off Sarah, we went back to the zone,
足
but then we had to deal with, like, Arya and Arya's corruption. And really, after we beat Sarah, the creator stopped being mentioned as much, and yokai kind of became more of a thing. So we had the rogue AI yokai that was going around fucking shit up. And at that point, it became a little difficult, because it's like, shit, is yokai in league with the creator? Was yokai created by the creator? Is it just a dick and just trying to, like, destroy everything? Is he trying to just destroy humanity and he's trying to use the creator? Hard to say, because, like, we do know that with, like, the breaking of the seal that took over Jaguang's brother, like, we beat him, and even though Sarah kind of went back and, like, merged with something, we were able to beat her. But when the seal was broken, we did notice 5 high energy points on the map, right? One would assume that the creator was, there's portions of the creator sealed in each one of those 5 areas, and we only went to one of them. So the question is that when we were dealing with the portion that had invaded Zhao Guang's brother and Sarah, were there other portions that had escaped? Or are they still sealed, or maybe their seal is greatly weakened? So it wasn't really talked about, because after that, then they had the Angels of Delusions stories, and that was more focused on yokai, because, you know, it was more about the intelligent construct of Arya and Vesper being corrupted by yokai. And then we went into the Porcelumoi thing, because our eyes were starting to go a little off the fritz. So, like, we started focusing much less on the creator and more on yokai and our own abilities. So it's nice that she mentioned the creator, because it's like, hey, by the way, yeah, so that's still a thing. You didn't fix the problem before. Now, maybe we did, you know, destroy a portion of the creator's power, right? Maybe a portion of the creator had escaped and possessed Zhao Guang's brother, and then later Sarah, and because we beat it, it's now dead, or dispersed at least. But in theory, there should be 4 other places for it. Although maybe it's 3, right? Maybe the portion that escaped the seal went into Zhao Guang's brother, and beating him dispersed that portion. Because Sarah went somewhere else. It could be that Sarah went to another part. It could be that Sarah went to another location where the crater was sealed. Because she went to some sort of, like, pod thing. And then, like, came out all decked out in armor. And, like, shit. So it's like, was that another place where the crater was sealed? Because I do believe this is where the place where Sarah was picking up that shit was the place where Sunbringer herself had come to fight. So it could be that this is the place where Sunbringer had sealed another portion of the crater. And so Sarah had joined with it. So in theory, then, maybe we only have 3 sealed pieces of the crater remaining that we need to get rid of. And we've already destroyed 2 of them. Maybe. I just can't remember if that was a separate thing, or if it was like, we beat Zhao Guang's brother, and the portion of the crater that was in him escaped and fled to Sarah. And so all she was doing was just opening up a weapon that she could use that was sealed down below. Or, like, was she just unsealing a weapon, or was she unsealing another part of the creator? Hard to say. I can't. It's been a while. I can't remember. But I assume they're going to talk about it. I assume the next time we have to go against another sealed crater pit, they'll probably mention Sarah and Zhao Guang's brother and that seal to kind of refresh our memory. So I'm fine not going back and, like, watching the VODs to get a context for it. I'm sure they're going to make sure that we are aware of it and remind us.
ロスカリファの根本
リン、今
新エリートとの連携を強め
僕もだ。始まりの主の影響力は このロスカ
前にベリナがチラッと言ってたのだ。市政やら HIA やらもろもろの機関がどうとか。
トップスだって。
そんなもん奴らの上層部だってここの存在を知ってるからに決まってるのだ。はあ、ノルムーたちが結局もどっちかというと市政派だからベリナも頭を抱えてるのだ。
Wait, did you say Veli before or Vale? I thought she said Vale before. Did they misspell that? Oh, no, okay. It was Veli. I just transposed the I and L. I think Vale. But yeah, obviously Velina. Yeah, because like Tops is obviously a big pile of assholes
とにかく
who are
これで晴れてリン
very
たちが
self-centered.
できるのだ。
And so I guess previously, before their communications were mostly through the mayor. And it seems like the mayor's office and Tops kind of work in tandem, but at somewhat odds with each other. So whereas the mayor is trying to benefit the city and their people, Tops is more about benefiting themselves, which has ancillary effects that also help the people, but it's not their true goal. Their goal is to get more powerful and do more research and become a better company. And as we can clearly see in the United States, just, letting the heads of companies dictate policy is obviously a bad decision because they're not focused on the betterment of people, and any benefits they do provide are unintentional. Well, not necessarily unintentional, but like it's not their true goal. But yes, that's the tough thing too. Is that so a company does something and you think, oh well, it's like a good idea is like taxes, right? Lowering taxes. Does lowering taxes benefit the people? In the short term, yes. Yes, regardless of how many taxes you pay, if you lower taxes, you pay slightly less. But who really benefits from lowering taxes? Well, obviously the people who make a fuckload of money. Lowering taxes by 1% might save you $100 for the year, and sure, you have an extra $100, but it's saving them 100 million, right? So clearly, and what do you think is going to hurt more? Because our tax dollars go into funding the infrastructure and keep our country working. And so what do you think is going to matter more? The country missing $100 or the country missing 100 million, right? That 100 million could go into making hospitals, providing healthcare, building roads, all these things. But now it doesn't have it because you saved $100. Hooray, And so this is one of those things where, yeah, a company might push a policy which does have a benefit for you, but it disproportionately benefits them. And the benefit for you is just short term, which is offset by all the negative aspects of that policy, right? So having less tax money means that there's just less money to do the things that are absolutely necessary, like education and stuff like that. Education, healthcare, all that shit. We have less money to deal with that, to deal with these things that should be the main goal of the government, to improve its citizens, to make them to prepare them for the real world, and to act as a safety net when things go wrong, right? That's what the government should be there for. And because we're letting billionaires dictate our policy, we're now no longer able to fund these projects, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer and stupider. So it's just, it's very short-sighted, but people are dumb, and so they can't see the long term, and that is a problem. And so it's basically like what TOPS is. It's like these are companies that are trying to do these things, and while they, while Porcelain Luminex was creating Luminex, which it does have anti-ether capabilities, right? We also saw them abuse workers. And, to be fair, the ones who were experimented on were done by the Exaltus. But, because of their poor management skills, they weren't able to see that their workers were being exploited and experimented on. And even still, the conditions for work there were still pretty shitty, So, and then there's just no oversight. Is that, we had people in their company basically turn out to be complete assholes. And were there any repercussions? I mean, there might have been. Obviously, the guy was actually killed. So, killed by a rogue agent. which is like, okay, at least he won't do that again. But like, it's the kind of thing where, do you think he really would have been? Do you think justice really would have happened? Do you think if he had been captured by Topps and sent to trial, would he have really been punished? I doubt it. You know, it's just like it's a corrupt system working for corrupt people, and any benefit they have for humanity is just incidental as they quest for more power.
さあさあ、レッツ算数曲な。正面から入るのだ。算数曲はあの中なのだ。すっごく綺麗。算数曲はこの先なのだ。この扉の向こうが算数局なのだ。多分ベリナがもう中にいるから探すと。ありがとうノルム。なんで祈ってやったそばからナーバスになってるのだ。安心するのだ。失敗してもせいぜいデータストリームが不安。
こらこらノルムちゃんよ。
リンちゃんはアーシュラの第一級保護大使。ペットと家電には科学的用も。リン、アキラ。
ああとか言って
マジビリーの言う通りだし。うるさいのだ。これは機密も機密。外務警察局安全条例補足の第37条によればバックヤードに連行。何それ、超ディストピアじゃん。コン、緊張しすぎは治療にいいはずもなか。リン、これは絶対に秘密だけど前に乗る。そしてアーカイブで見つけちゃったのだ。ヘイリオス研究所で。ちょっと待って、その通りなのだ。お、一つだけ確かなことがあるのだ。
あの時起きたことにロスカリファも関わっ。ここにいる誰かは最初からリンの状況を把握していたかもしれん。
ミス・サンブリンガーとカローレ先生がミス・サンブリンガーと直接話せる機会があったら。規則上貴様にこんなこと教えちゃダメ。貴様らが何に興奮してたのかは知らないけど、ロスカリファにいる限りサンブリンガー様と会えるチャンスなんていくらでもあるのだ。
This is definitely a good thing, you know? It's definitely good to have our medical data, because at the very least, then they'd be very familiar with what was being done to us. But the problem, of course, is that if the calamity 11 years ago was caused by us going crazy, I don't see how having our medical data would help against that, right? Because it wasn't able to help them before. Now, obviously, if the data was not destroyed, right? So if there is still data of us going crazy, and they can see how we went crazy, then sure, right? They might be able to protect against it or have ways to mitigate it after it starts. Maybe. But again, like, us going crazy was not planned to begin with, so, and like, I would assume we destroyed Helios Academy in the process, so would data of the experiment where we went crazy exist? Or is it just like, here's our initial data, and we know you went crazy? I mean, I guess there are some precautions they could take just knowing that we could go crazy, but even still, without actual data knowing what happened and how, like, their preparations are not going to be perfect. It's also been like 10 years, right? It's been 11 years since it happened. We have new firmware, but where did we get this firmware? Now, maybe the firmware was gotten from Marcel Company, because it was given to us by the mayor, and as we were just told, it seems that Roscalifier has a better relationship with the mayor than it does Topps. So it could have been that they were involved, and maybe they were the ones who designed the firmware for our implants. It maybe even provided the implants and its firmware to Helios Academy, and Helios was just experimenting on the actual application of it. In which case, yeah, so they might have, then at least they would be aware of what the firmware does, right? The problem, of course, is that if we were given firmware from an unknown source that even Roscalifier doesn't know about, that would add just extra variables to the experiment
ありがとうノルム
and make it more
重
dangerous.
要な
別に
じゃあ行こうか
But I can't remember because like we got the firmware like at the very beginning of season 2.
行くぞ
Like the mayor popped up, said, here's some new firmware. Cool, now that you have this firmware, you can go into the hollows. And that's when we started going to the hollows and learning our martial arts to disperse miasma. But that was like obviously a year ago since I was at the beginning of season 1, so I can't remember what they said. If they said the firmware was provided by the Marcel company.
おお、ここが算数局。うわ、お家くれた人発見。
メリナ様、こちら治療の際にご担当いただきたい箇所になります。よろしいでしょうか。ええ、もちろん当然の務めよ。噂をすれば来たわね。ロスカリファ算数局へようこそ。彼女はコーラ、ここの責任者よ。皆様、以後お見知りおきを。さて、治療についてですが、事前準備はすべて完了しております。さらにいいお知らせもある。
I'm curious what this treatment's gonna be.
事前に
Is it like,
審査した結果、
is it a medicine?
治療は
Are we gonna like bathe in Porceluma? Like, are they gonna create a Porcelumoy bath and we're just gonna bathe in it? Is this something they're gonna inject into us? Inject Porcelumoy into our bodies?
兄ちゃん、もうミス・サンブリンガーとお話できちゃいそうだよ。あら、
Is it gonna, or maybe even replace the parts of our implants, perhaps?
誰かしら？
Oh, is this gonna be the tiny one? Yeah, it's a tiny one. Oh, okay, so she is a Sunbringer.
あなた。何、バイガー？
サンブリンガー様よ。
こいつだ。
サンブリンガーが。
Okay, so
これが。
yeah, the heads of the department. So I was assuming that it wasn't because I was like, well, maybe they didn't have the heads of the department. Like maybe they wouldn't make the other Sunbringers heads of the department. But yeah, she was the one in the middle with her head turned away, and then there's one to the far right. So I'm thinking that's another Sunbringer. So which actually kind of would make sense, right? So we have the child one, and the one to the far right was more adult, but still relatively youthful. And then we have the one that spoke, which is obviously a full-grown adult. So it could be that it's like, you know, young. So like preteen, teen, adult versions of Sunbringer. Now, why? Do they exist in 3 parts? Who fucking knows, right? We'll see. They're probably going to say it at some point.
どうやらあなたたち、私とエルダを同一人物だと思って。
何が起きているのか分かったわ。きっとノルムーは天空の島に長くいすぎて3人も。
そう。私はドラキナ。ドラキナ・サンブリンガー。あとの2人はリンドベルナ。
Actually, I guess maybe
エルだよ。
maybe they could be clones then. Maybe this is a project where they had the original one is dead, and they've just cloned her 3
最
times,
初のサンブリンガーは。
and so she's just the youngest of the clones.
でもはるか
Oh, okay, never mind.
彼女は自分自身を。
Okay, so
私たち
because I was thinking that maybe she died, and people like after her death tried to clone her to bring her back, but no, it seems like Lady Sunbringer herself did it. It's also interesting to say, but a long, long time ago, she split herself into 3, right? So, when I think a long, long time ago, I'm thinking at least like 20 to 30 years, right? I mean, long, I would think more probably around 50 plus years. But regardless, even at 20 years, if she split herself into 3, like, she's way too young. Like, even if she split into 3 and one of them was a literal 1-year-old baby, she still looks way too young to be like 20 or 30 years old. And long time ago is probably more like 50 plus years ago. Which basically means that she's existed in this form for a long period of time. Which is interesting why Sunbringer would do such a thing. and to what ends.
できるわよ。だってサンブリンガーの本当の姿
Oh.
は知能構
Okay,
造
never
体
mind
だ
then.
もの。
That makes a little more sense. I thought she was an organic being. I didn't realize she was... I mean, that explains why she created a company of Bangbus, then. If she is an intelligent construct herself, she would be relatively aware of how to make other constructs and might be pretty good with mechanical engineering. Then it gets to beg the question, first of all, why did she split herself and what happened to the original, right? Does her original body still exist? She just transferred and split her consciousness into 3 other constructs? But, like, could they ever, like, recombine and go back into the original body?
知能構造体。
ひゅー、同族として誇らしく思うぜ。
スターライト。
それはマジどうでもよくて。
それは私にもわからないの。3人の中だとエルダが一番詳しいわね。興味があるなら彼女に聞いてみるといいわ。
いやいやいや、あっちのサンブリンガー様。
そんなことないわ。あっちの私はちょっとムッとしてるけど、すごい。
じゃあドラキナちゃんさ、まだアシラが
リンドベルヌなら最近はビルリウムで装備の調整をしているわ。
誰かなん。
そう。ベリナ。
Flint Workshop is where the Porcelain Light is
みんなに
created.
説明してもらってもいいかしら。
え、おまか。ロスカリファは中枢5局と呼ばれる5部署で成り立っているわ。革新をなす3部署、正当局、算数局、空準局はサンブリンガー様が1人ずつ統括されるの。エルダ様の正当局は規則の策定や各局との連携
Which makes sense. She does seem like the
全体
leader.
運営における決定権を持つ。ドラキナ様と三里中枢局はロゼッタデータ
Explains why she's here. It's because we're in the CCD department right now. Ah. So then what does Sigrid control? Is there... If she... Oh, okay. So the external strategy department must be the defense force. So basically there's an air force and a land force. So there's the air force, which one of the Sunbringers leads, and Sigrid leads the land. Oh, really? People support Bangbus. She looked like a knight, basically. Oh, actually, maybe she is part of the Air Force, then. She's just not the leader of it. Well, no, that makes no sense, because when she mentioned the 5 departments, Sigrid was there. And so was the other Sunbringer. So if the other Sunbringer is the leader of the Air Force, I think the dude is the one in charge of Flint, because he looked like more of a scientist anyway. Which would mean that she would have to be the strategy department. But that's like technical support for Bangbus. That's the department that's the technical support for... That's the technical support for Bangbus, which... I mean, she seems like a knight, right? And even in her brief little, like, thing... In the brief little, like, preview for this area, she was, like, fighting them. She was, like, training them with fight. Oh, she was fighting against a Bangbu, so maybe she is part of that department.
てっきりこの島ってサンブリンガー様がなんで自分を3人に分けちゃったか。
それに私たちにはさらにそれぞれ手伝ってくれる2番手もいる。
私としてはドラキナ様がすぐ報告書にお目通しくださるのならもう何も言うことはありません。
It's actually kind of a weird thing, right? Like, how does she know more than you? Like, if you've been doing this for 100 years, like, you would think you would just naturally know more than her, even if you're, like, not as efficient as she is. Like, you would think just the piled up knowledge alone would make you better. Although maybe it is just purely because she's too lazy.
みんな打ち解けてきたかしベリナ。
Although it might not be that she's lazy, it could be that she's also just dedicated. It could be that she's most spending her time focused on other things within the department, so she's not able to be a good head. And so Cora is able to keep track of the entire department while she focuses on her pet projects, like, you know, so she could be like a researcher at heart, and she's just so dedicated to her research, she's not properly managing the entire department.
私は自分の持ち場に戻ります。
Okay, this sounds like it's going to get pretty involved, and I've already been walking for 55 minutes. I don't want to start another cutscene that could end up taking forever. So I'm going to stop for... Actually, wait a minute. I'm going to... Actually, there's another quest. Actually, wait, let's go to this quest first. What is happening? Break? Shit, maybe I should have left. Oh no, okay, there we go. Just took a little while. Okay, cool. Oh. How do I get up there? Oh. Listen to me? Oh, that one. I didn't realize I could do this multiple times. Oh, I see. There's that one there, and this one. Oh, wow, I get one of these for each one. Okay, so there's probably going to be a bang boo for every single one of those, then. There's probably going to be a treasure chest for every single bang boo combination. Yeah, that dude looks... Oh wait, he's the Administrative Affairs Department. That's... I thought he was the other one of the five, or maybe there's a different one. Okay, so they just fucked up then. They just showed NPCs that they've already done. Because in the five NPCs that appeared, one of them was Little Sunbringer. One of them, I think Lynn Vern was probably the one on the far right. But they also had Sigrid on there. So that means one would assume with the 5 images you would have been showing the 5 heads of each of the departments. But we already know that two of the pictures were people from the Airspace Patrol, which doesn't, you know. And I think Karenus was the one who was also... Let's see. Oh, she's the external strategy. Oh, okay. Oh no, Velina was there. So we had her. We had Sigrid, but I'm pretty sure we also had Lindvern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, these are just 4. So we don't have the 5th department here. Wait, Bane was looking for an outfit. Where? Let's see. Whatever. Okay, so this is a combat stuff. Seems like a lot of it's still locked. It's fine. Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, where's this Bangaboo needs an outfit? I don't see I don't see an outfit machine anywhere around here. Unless they're saying that I have to go all the way back in front again. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Been walking for an hour. Good time to stop. I will be popping into Genshin and infield really quick to spend my resin, spend my stamina, and then I will be continuing Wuthering Waves. The goal of Wuthering Waves is to finally catch up to the story so I can start the Night City DLC, or Night City collab area. That is my goal. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.